All right, this is Game & Watch Tropical Fish. Here's the unit. This is my first time seeing this one, so this will be new. Go ahead and adjust the screen size so it's bigger. Now that we've seen what it looks like. It's just left and right. This one kind of looks like it might remind me of the old ones. Of course, it doesn't quite fit in the screen, despite being widescreen. Actually, how would it fit if I didn't have my face? No, it still doesn't fit. I'm not going to worry about that yet. I don't know what I'm going to do for later games. I'm going to just do a whole overlay over everything and sacrifice screen space, or what? I mean, it won't affect me. It'll affect you guys, but I just have to make a decision. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. And we will start with Game Mode A. Ugh. What am I doing? Okay, I'm catching fish. Oh, it's like, it's kind of like Fire, actually. Is this just Fire 2.0? These sounds are kind of unpleasant. What is that cat doing down there? Oh, he's waiting for me to drop a fish. Wait. Notice, though, the big difference they made. I get a point for every splash, unlike in Fire, where you only get a point for every time they make it to the ambulance. That was one of my big issues with Fire, was that it took way too long to get points, so it started really slow. He had a big old outie belly button. What was the button above that? He had double belly buttons? Yo, I kind of see it, though. I kind of see it. Oh, I see it now. Yeah. Oh, why am I thinking I have to go back already? Okay, I like that this one's moving at a faster pace as far as points go. Think about how I'd only have, like, barely, like, 9... No, wait. I don't know, not nearly as many points. Who is this guy? Ooh, that was kind of rough. Can I hold? No, I have to mash. As is usual for the Game & Watch games, these are some awful methods of transportation or doing whatever task you're doing. He's Mr. Game & Watch? I don't think this is Mr. Game & Watch. I don't think they use that term until Smash Bros. Itself. Whoa! How did I splash that guy first? I thought the other guy was first. Oh, is there a bit of forgiveness frames then? Or whatever you call it? Like, do I just have to be lined up with them when they're at the bottom, and that could actually be a few different spots? Okay, I kind of like that, actually. I prefer that to having to be exactly there. I don't know, though. Maybe that's not the case? The sounds in this one are kind of weak, but maybe that's because I'm used to, like, the tabletops and panoramas, which had better sound. Oh, wait, was right first? Dead fish. No! Poor fishy. Oh, the bone! Brutal. They had to rub it in, man. Wow. I don't know why I thought the left one was first then. I don't think there's enough room in either. I mean, I guess they go off screen. Oh, no, wait, no, the left one doesn't. That is a lot of fish. It makes me think of, like, how in helicopter... No, not helicopter. Parachute. There's just, like, hundreds and hundreds of dudes parachuting out of the helicopter. Where they all come from. There's no way they all fit in that thing. The house looks nice, though, I guess. There's a lot of detail there. I guess I splash around water, too, when I do this. Maybe he's not even trying to transport his fish. He's just trying to make them not die. They do this on their own every now and then. It's like salmon when they go up the river. And there's just nothing he can do. He has to do this or else they'll all just jump out and die. That's why he has 2 tanks. It was the only way to stop him from just slamming into the window. Wait, is that a window or is that wallpaper? Because now I'm looking at it, I don't know if the windows would go all the way to the ceiling like that. Ooh, this is brutal. Okay, that's where it gets tough. You have to go, like, way back earlier. Because there's a lot more spot, because, like, in, I guess it's just 4. But in Fire, there was only 3 spots you had to balance. In this one, you have to balance 4. Which just adds an extra layer of complexity. That being said... What? I swear it was the other one first. Man, something is wrong with my vision. Dead fish. I don't know if I'll make it to 300. This one's deceptive. This one does feel awfully simple compared to some of the ones. More later ones. But maybe that's because, again, I'm going to... Ah! Man, this is hard! I have to get to 300 on both game modes. He collects a lot of plants. It's like Stanley. Maybe this is Stanley, just not under name. Well, at least that only took me like 5 minutes to get to 200. It's not too bad. You're confused. The fish jumping out of a television? No, those are not TVs. Those are fish tanks. Although I guess I see why they kind of look like a static TV screen. It's the ones that are on the ends that are really hard. For me to, like, judge exactly who's gonna fall first. I really like how what they did with Mr. Game & Watch and Ultimate, making them actually look like the original sprites, basically. I thought that was a nice touch. I don't know if you call these sprites or whatever they are, but... I think I see how I'm getting confused. I'm seeing the later ones move first, but they're actually a step back. I think that's the mistake I'm making. Because I'm kind of seeing it here, and I think it's the same problem later on. This one is still a lot like Fire. Which does make it feel a little less unique. I think that when they jump out of the tank, they possibly have one less spot they go to initially, or like it... I don't know. Something about when they first get out of the tank. See, there it was again. But wouldn't the guy on the left have died? Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I need to just be faster at mashing. Maybe just when in doubt, always go to the right first. Let me try that strat. Yeah, I was talking about the puddles earlier. I'm assuming these puddles are from all the splashing the fish are doing. Or that's probably the idea behind it, at least. No, see, why is this one so hard for me? Maybe I need to, shrink my screen. I think I'm having a bit of a hard time seeing them spatially next to each other. Again, remember, these things were honestly really tiny initially, not nearly the size of a massive monitor. Not gonna lie, 300 seems like a bit of a pipe dream right now. I'm gonna adjust screen size after this attempt. I'll check out that Ganon laugh clip. I just don't want to do it while I'm playing this game. See, that time I could have gone left for, or like if I, because I wasn't sure, but I did need to do left first that time. Yeah, I don't know. That was definitely... Ooh, so there's something really tough about this one. It's kind of, like, surprisingly tough. Ah! I need to shrink my screen size. Whoa, I got a donation. Thank you. That's the first time that's happened. I need to make that notification last longer because I missed your name and I'm so sorry for that. Is there a way to see that? It was Turbo. Thank you, Turbo. Like I said, first time ever. That's kind of awesome. All right, let's try this with a smaller screen now. I guess technically Suji did it first, but he was testing it out for me. Yeah, thank you so much. How do you make it last longer? Do I need to get a longer GIF? I wonder if I can just make that one loop more or something. Or does that have to do with the length of the song? They straight up had the name Turbo? Man, that's like that'd be a hard name to get. Oh, so your name is actually Turbo Drowsy. Got it. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, now I learned something new. Dude, it just like got notably faster, like instantly. Okay, so you can do them out of order. Oof. Dang it. Oh, did he change his name? Ah. It is kind of a long one. And I had to like I had to like look at it for a second to realize what it actually was. I gotta get used to mashing, I think, hard when I go from one side to the other. Like, to the point where maybe I should, once again, switch to controller. Okay, left, this one's first. I still sometimes contemplate changing my name. Down just to Shmoby, which is often what I use for short for Smoochy Bob, which I know doesn't totally make sense, but that's just what I use. You'll see that a lot for file names later on. Just because Shmoochy Bob is just kind of weird, or like hard to remember. So if I tell someone's like, "Hey, what's your channel?" and I'm like, "Shmoochy Bob." What the heck? What is that? How do you spell that? But I have not had the motivation to do that yet. Whoa! Bro, they're everywhere. Okay, good. They're in a line, though. That makes that really easy. Alright, I made it to 200 without getting hit, actually. That's really good. You just tell them to search geometric algebra because nobody remembers Suji Lukbo. But that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't it be better if they could remember it? Smooth Shabab. Alright, I might actually make it this time, so I'm going to focus. I think the smallest screen is helping, even though I did lose pretty early on. This is really nasty. Dang, that got hard. Wonder who did the graphics. Yeah, like who the animators were or who the artists were. It's actually kind of hard to find information about a lot of specific Game & Watch games. No, man, this gets so hard. And this is just game mode A. Man, I'm not gonna be able to get to Rob. I'll be stuck on this game. Whew, this is tough. So close. 20 away. It's been kind of hard for some of my summary videos because I just can't find a whole lot of history to a lot of these Game & Watch games. Because it's not hard. In the end, it actually makes the videos easier to make, but there's just not a whole lot to... Not a whole lot to, like, research on. Obviously, there was quite a bit to talk about for the very first one, but... I just realized the cat's cage is down there, and it looks like the cat's in a fish tank, too. What do you mean by put under? Like arcade? They'll probably go into their... What I'll probably do is, if you're thinking about, like, playlists, they'll definitely go into a... both an arcade playlist and I think a versus system playlist. I think I'll do both. But as far as the actual summary videos go, I'm going to do them at the same time as the NES games. Which I guess makes them a little bit... Oh, but yeah, how do I do that for the Oh, that just made me. Oh, you just made me realize something. So I have playlists for arcade games and for NES games, but for those, if I do both at once, do I put them in both? I guess it doesn't hurt to put them in both, even though it's probably more accurate to say they're NES games. I'll probably just put them in both still. Okay, it's easier. It's easier when they're all in a straight order like this. Almost at 100, it'll start slowing down. Nice. Yeah. I haven't lost finally. That was the first time I think I didn't lose a life there in that last stretch of 100. It's definitely like some Game & Watches. Well, they all do it to some degree. It gets harder and harder as you go, and then every increment of 100, it slows down again. And this one, it's definitely that last 20 or so, last 30 to 20. That's really hard. The rest of it's not that bad. They just start speeding up really fast during that stretch. I just get worried when I move across the whole, all 4 spots that I'm just not going to be fast enough. I almost did that out of order. If I had a bigger screen, I might have failed that. Oh boy, this looks like it could be rough. No, the other fish got caught. Like, what was I supposed to do, man? I got stuck catching the other one. That seemed like impossible. Maybe I just need to mash even harder. It seemed like I got stuck for like a moment. Going from one fish to the other. It's rough. Left, right, middle. It's so hard. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. I think I can just mash. Oh. Okay. I was just reacting there. I was not keeping track of the order at all. Holy moly. This is still only just as good as I did last time, though, because I got through 100 to 200 without losing any fish last time. I lost my last 2 in the last stretch of this 100. Just gotta get to 300. I can do this. Still have game mode B to do, though. Maybe it is just better to react. So I actually made it through that last chunk just by reacting. See, it's like, there are some situations where it's like, I just can't move fast enough. I might try switching to a controller. Seeing if button presses goes faster. Which I've never actually had to do for these before, so that's kind of crazy. See, there it was again. I was trying to get over there. All right, I'm switching to a controller. See if that helps. I'm gonna have to quit this for a sec. Give me a moment. Maybe I can, like, move sooner? Maybe that's my problem, is I'm staying with the old fish for too long. Yeah, we know more about the later versions, or the later ports. like in the gallery games, than the ones who actually created the originals. Right. And since the original was 2 buttons, I'm gonna do buttons, not D-pad. Size is probably screwed up. Hang on. Alright, do my inputs. I need to reset it. I didn't have my controller plugged in when I first opened it. The controller definitely helped me with arm wrestling too, so I'm kind of hoping it makes a difference. The only thing I won't be perfectly replicating is the fact that it was like 1 in one hand, or 1 for one thumb, 1 for the other. I guess I could still hold my controller kind of funny and try to replicate that. What in the world? I'm in the wrong menu. What was that? I don't know. Do that for 1 left and A for right. That is way too much. That for right. Okay. Let's try it with the controller. See if it's any easier. You still kind of move slowly is the thing. I'm trying to get good at, like, knowing how early I can start moving away. But also hold it in a way that lets me... Oh, I could do, like, L and R. That would be sort of similar to having 1 hand for each button. It's my pointing fingers, though, not my thumbs. So I don't know if that's a good idea. I should be able to, Suzy. See you later. Oh, yeah. Makes you wonder if it's like, if Miyamoto himself helped with it? Who knows? Because he did do a lot of art back in the day for Nintendo. Although at this point, with Donkey Kong releasing, he might have been pretty busy with Mario Bros. And the like. And the formation of R&D 4, right? I just gotta really pay attention on this one. Can't catch a break. Kind of reminds you a lot of Popeye. Yeah, he probably was busy. And with how many of these they were pumping out, too, it seems like a lot just to have him. And the earlier games didn't have as much art, actually. It's kind of something they started to do more later on. Even, like, the box art starts having unique art for them when they used to not have anything like that at all. Just like a screenshot of the game, and that's it. Like manhole for the, was it new widescreen or widescreen? I don't remember. But that one has like a whole, it's actually pretty funny artwork. It has the guy like tripping over the manhole and the guy in the manhole like, ah! Yeah, I think I just need to be ready to go really quickly if I need to, and not like hold on for, wait for a single fish for too long to land in my current bowl. Okay, that's 100, no failures. Yeah. The later Game & Watches definitely do feel like they just have a lot more personality as they go. A lot more unique art. Which in some ways is too bad, because they started to do worse as they went along. Well, they peaked at like Donkey Kong and stuff, but that's not too surprising. That was more probably people who played the arcade game and got it more than anything else. But at the point I'm at already, it was already starting to slow down in sales. Oh, yeah, because Game & Watch was the last one in Japan, you said, right? Crazy. Wonder why they didn't do that. Or why they stopped. Were they just not seeing the sales there? Sorry, I'll try to read and respond to stuff, but I really gotta focus on this one. This one's hard. Oh. That was bad. Oh, right when I made it to 200 as well. Oh, bummer. It was just about to start slowing down. I realized I went to the wrong one first. I shudder to think of what Game Mode B is gonna be like. So if it's just harder version of this, whoo. Part of me regrets getting to 300 on Game Mode B, because it's like, for all these NES games, I'm not doing that. Oh, I should have at least checked out Game Mode B in Kung Fu. Does that just, like, start you like you were on Loop 2 or something? Maybe I'll just check it out for the summary video and put it in there. Dude, I was mashing! But I was, like, moving so slow. I hope this isn't, like, main delay or something. You can't hold it. This is, God, man, this one is gonna, maybe Suji was right, I'm not gonna get this one done today. No! Would have thought it was tropical fish that did me in. Sometimes when I mash with the controller, it seems like it eats some of my inputs. I had that problem in Punch-Out, too. Fourth one? Oh! I can't believe I actually did it. It's not over yet. No! I went the wrong way. I was so close. Oh, this is killing me. Oh, man. I guess I'm making progress, but it's 3 away. I just had to get like one more good chain in, and I would have been golden. Yeah, I'm trying to get to 300 on them because they clear lights at 300, so that's kind of the stopping point I've been doing for these games, if you didn't know already. Game & Watch galleries get confusing because they had like slightly different versions released in different countries at a few points. And the naming is like off. And like I think one that was on the Game Boy Color was on the Game Boy in Japan. It gets kind of confusing. There's a lot of, I'll be playing some similar but not quite the same versions. More than what we just got in the US. It's more complicated than that. This went the wrong way. That would have been a bad loss this early on. This was wrong again. I think I caught it. Right there at the end, I think it's right when the reason why I keep losing is because they throw 5 fish at once at you, and I think it's the only time it's done that. Hopefully that's not the norm in game mode B. Because it gets really hard once that starts happening. This is, like, surprising me at how it's one of the hardest Game & Watches I've played. Would not have expected this one to be so brutal. Yes, please keep it in just a line like this. No, don't throw another one at me. Actually, it's still kind of in a line. Alright, first 100 obtained. Slow down. Obtained. Can I please get to 200 without losing a fish? That would be big. Gives me a lot of wiggle room for the end. At least this one's faster paced than Fire. Fire was so slow. Kind of interesting. Even though I got the left fish first, the right one's actually still going faster than it. Not quite sure how that, like, works. You'd think it would splash then sooner, but I don't know. Maybe it stays in the splashing animation longer then, depending on where its position is supposed to be. I don't know if that makes any sense. But you can splash them out of order, but they stay in order that they were previously. Oh, this is gross order. Ooh. Okay. Calm down a little bit. Great. Okay. Under control still. Ooh, this is nasty. Ooh, okay. Still good. Ah, it's so hard when they're on the opposite ends like that, but so close together. I didn't get my 200. I mean, I did. The problem was I wasn't right beneath it when I needed to be. That's still a pretty nasty requirement then. Whoa, this is a fight. Man, I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. It just seems like impossible. Unless I did it out of order. Ugh, come on. This one is really tough. I know I'll get it eventually. I got so close last time. Just disappointing that I'll have to start over again if I fail this, which I probably will, let's be real. I think sometimes I have to, like, be ahead of the game in those really hard situations, which is really nasty, which means I can't just react. Because if I'm in the middle, I have to go left 1 and then far right 4. That's 5 movements. But if I was already on the far left and then I go right 4, that's only 4. If that makes sense. This is the way they do this one. That actually makes a difference. I might have just missed that. Oh, man. This is so hard. I'll get it. I'll get it. But unfortunately, I'm not getting it quickly. And I'm worried about game mode B. There's been some that were really hard for A, though, and I just got better at the game by B, and I beat it quickly. That's what I'm hoping happens here. This one is just... For being a simple concept they've done many times before, this one is really hard. One way this is different than Fire, actually, is Fire, they bounce a varying amount with each bounce. This, it's steady. They always go the same height with every jump. Maybe they're like, oh, that tank looks better. There's so much less fish in it. Only for the same thing to happen the next day. Love to be able to... I really want to beat this tonight, though, because then I could get to setting up ROB and just playing those games straight up. I don't know how long those games will be. Like, will I be able to beat both of them in one day, or are they sizable? Dynamite and stack up. With how slow Rob moves, they might take a while. You have to have him like set the spinning top on buttons and then go through the game and go through the doorways and stuff. I might be sitting there waiting for him a lot. Those are ones you actually can play without Rob, but it's not nearly as interesting. Actually, I don't know about stack up. But Gyromite, you can just... The tops in the end, what they do is they push buttons on the controller. Actually, I think stack up you can do it without it, too. You just have to, like, envision what it is in your head. Because I don't think that one actually interacts with the game at all. It just knows, based on what the starting position of all the pieces are. Oh. I was really worried about that. Wait, did they get off sync after all? Or... Or did I just misremember the order? I got a focus time. Okay, that is 100. Funny because on the Nintendo Wiki, they describe Tropical Fish gameplay as a slightly improved version of Fire. I would say it's probably better than Fire, just in that it's a little more engaging, but it's definitely harder. Again, I've said it before, but Fire's scoring methodology just made it so slow at the start, or at each of the 100 increments, because you only got a point. Imagine this, but I only got 1 point every time a fish got across, and you've kind of got Fire. There was not as many bounces, but it'd be the same concept. It would take so long for things to start going quicker. I'm focusing in a bit here. Ooh, that was almost bad. Ah! Oh, they're doing the crazy thing again. No, I couldn't get over there! There was too many fishes I had to bounce! Come on! Clearly he has a hoarding issue with fish. Man, I just can't get past those really hard parts. I tried. I don't know if I did the order wrong there, or if I was just toast. There was like so many fish I was getting stuck on my way over. Well, I made it to 200 with only 1 life lost. This is about as good as I've ever done. There was one time where I made it through that really hard 190 spot, 180, 190 spot without dying way early on, but I lost a life earlier. And now I can't replicate that, unfortunately. Do this. Just focus, focus, focus. Whoa, I went too far because I was mashing too hard. It's brutal. Okay, here's where they start throwing. Oh, I noticed I went out of order. No! This isn't free. I lost a life too early. I still have to make it through some really hard stretches. Oh, I did it! Oh, thank goodness. Finally. Wow. Just because of the sake of time tonight, I'm gonna end it now and go to game mode B. I could go further, but... Oh, my headset's starting to hurt my ears. Alright. Remember that you said you weren't paying attention to the pattern when you did that. Alright, my cat was just hungry. He needed to be fed. That's all, that's all. Alright. Game mode A is done, finally. I got to 300. On to B. Let's see what's harder. Are they just gonna throw even more? What? He went backwards! Dude, that donation screen, I need to make it last longer. Who was it that time? Whoever that was, thank you so much. Was that a hype donation? Because I got to, Bro, is this gonna be easier? It was you again, Turbo? Thank you so much, man. I really need to make that last longer, because I look at it's gone already. What if there's a page I could have open too that lets me see the history? Okay, so basically, they're just going every direction now. Oh, boy. All right, now that I'm getting donations, at what point can I start writing all these stream purchases as a tax write-off? I probably... Is there enough yet to, like, make for you to claim it? I don't know how that works, actually. I need to figure it out. Oh, they can even come out of the left side now. Okay, this is just totally different. It's like a different game. Yeah, I don't know at what point. I don't know how that all works. I should probably look into it, though. I guess donations are a little different than... Like, if it's through Twitch, then... Twitch will send me something at the end of the year, you know, saying, this is how much money we paid you. But if it's through donations, I don't know how that works. I should probably figure it out. Did those two fish just... Okay, they split. I should probably figure it out before the IRS comes knocking on my door, though. This just feels totally different. I actually really like how different this is. Gives it a very different feel. I like it when the game mode Bs feel different. Somehow this has been easier for me too, although that might be because it hasn't gotten hard enough yet. That was kind of rough. Okay, made it to 100. Kind of funny that it remembers when two of them splash in at the same time. I mean, I guess it's not too surprising, but... I've always wondered how these were, like, programmed, you know? How simple are they under the hood? Like, I imagine those color TV games were so simple under the hood. They could not have been complicated at all. Like, you can make a rhythm out of these sounds. No, I hate it when I get snagged on a fish. Oh, should you be crazy never to keep the fish in their tanks? Well, I guess that was. Are you kidding me? Was that out of order or was that just brutal? I think I was out of order. I think I messed up. Dang it. What a bad. Well, guess it's not going to be a one-shot victory, like I was hoping. The fish are just like flying everywhere. Dude, this isn't even transferring at this point. This is just his home. His home is fish jumping everywhere. And he just has to constantly struggle to keep them alive. I don't think the fish are worth it at this point, dude. Unless maybe they just do this in, like, bursts. It's like, oh no, it's noon on Wednesday. The fish are gonna start jumping. I better get out my fish bowl. I just realized, though, for the neutral air, Mr. Game & Watch does not turn into this guy, but maybe he was just too detailed of a character to have him turn into it. Oh! Oh, I messed up. I mashed too hard, but luckily I still caught it in time. Yeah, I do not feel good about going to the 300 without a single life to spare here. Ooh, almost did those out of order. Almost did those out of order, too. They must fall different distances, I just realized, for them to have to land at the same time sometimes. No, I did it wrong. Yeah, that was toast. I was fried. I get 4 people all standing with a fishbowl in the 4 spots. Problem solved. All right, that wasn't like terrible. I just got to play well. Yeah, I'm doing 300 for this one too. And then I'm done. Might be overkill because I'm not doing game mode B in every game, but that's kind of what I've done for the Game & Watches. Because some of them are really short if I do like just game mode A. And some game mode Bs like this one are so different that I like to do it. And yeah, Rob isn't ready anyway, so we're not going to see that till next Monday. I'll get him ready over the weekend. I'll have to figure out a setup. I have to use my CRTV for that one, too, because it uses the screen flashing for Rob to detect the commands. So, I have to kind of get a whole setup going, something to put the Rob on. Probably, I might move my nightstand there in front of the TV. Then I'll have to be at a spot where I can, like, have the camera see me, I can see the TV, I can see Rob. Hopefully I don't have to actually touch my Rob too much, but he did seem a little bit off-center from the tops, and sometimes didn't grab him properly, so we'll see if that works. Or, like, a part of it was, like, slightly loose or something. So hopefully that's not a problem. Hype for the Rob cam. Where should I put it? I don't even know. Cover the text. Make the text really small and not have a title. Because the text could only, in theory, have to show a line or two, really. And then you can still kind of follow what conversation I'm having with the viewers. I didn't even have it at first, but I just realized it was... If I'm talking to chat and you're watching a VOD, it's nice to be able to know, like, what I'm talking about, you know? I could just ditch it, but I don't really want to do that. Although if I have to, I could ditch it just for those games. Okay, there's 100. No losses. I would say in the end, this maybe is just about as hard as Game Mode A. Doesn't seem worse, it just seems different. You just have to think about it a little differently. You have to pay more attention just to who's going downwards. You can't really memorize, or like you can't really follow the, or you can't like memorize the patterns because they're just too variant. They vary too much, not as consistent. But you can kind of track like where they're falling when you look, the order that they're falling in. When you look at like their peak and them moving down, and that's kind of how you pick up the pattern for just that current moment. But it's not going to be consistent as one fish going from right to left at the same rate with all the others going right to left, you know? Do I get 2 points? I do get 2 points when they both land in the same one. Nice. Oh, I like at 160, it got notably faster. Nice double. Ah, I noticed that was wrong. Man, it's so hard not to mess up during this part. At least once. Even at 200. Or even on the way to 200. Both the way to 200 and the way to 300. Right here near the end, it just gets really hectic. I was worried about that not going in time. Okay, 200, 1 life lost. Doing okay. I won on a run like this in Game Mode A, so it's definitely possible. It's kind of crazy. Some of these getting to 300 is a piece of cake. And then sometimes it's brutal. I mean, I got to 1,000 on Greenhouse. On, like, my first try. That one was a lot easier than this one. I reached maximum score. They still fall, actually, in a pretty consistent order. They're just, when they're bouncing around everywhere, it's too difficult to track. But then, like, when they both go in at the same time and then split, one definitely goes out faster than the other. Ooh, that was rough. Ah, I didn't have time, man. I didn't have time. What was I supposed to do there? What a bummer. I was mashing at the moment I thought the fish came into my bowl, but maybe it wasn't. I'm dead. Ah! I think I would have died no matter what there, though. So, something about this one during the really hard parts feels impossible. And I don't know if that's like an emulation thing, the game was just brutally designed, or if I'm just not going as fast as I can. Is it me, is it the game, or is it the emulator? Who to blame? The fact that emulation is possible of Game & Watch games, it's too bad Nintendo doesn't make them available like on the Switch or something. A Game & Watch online. Or something like the Arcade Archives forum. I guess they did do that on the DS, but weren't those more remakes? I can't remember if those were ROMs or remakes. And I guess if they didn't do super well, that's probably why they haven't gone back to bothering with them. That's still too bad. Wait, are you saying there is a Game & Watch collection for the Switch, or are you talking about it hypothetically? I just didn't know it existed. Get over there? Okay. Luckily, we were still going slow. I might have lost there if we were at later speeds. So the Game & Watch galleries are going to be more interesting. They have, like, the modern modes, which helps them a lot, and they have goals to go for. What's going to be rough is they often require you to get to 1,000 points. Not necessarily on everything, though. Usually it's on, like, one of the modes. You need to get 1,000 points on in order to get the credits. So they're going to be better games, but they're going to be possibly harder. We'll see. I've only played 2 of them, though. Or maybe 3. I don't remember. Hang on here a moment. Gotta focus. 100 usually isn't too bad. It's the next 2 increments that are hard. Oh, no, that's just what it would be called. Oh. They do have one of the Game & Watch gallery. That's true. They do have the Game & Watch gallery game. Did they pick a random, though, one? Wasn't it not the first one? I remember that now. Yeah, I actually didn't even know about the Game & Watch gallery games when I was a kid playing the Game Boy. I had no idea it existed. I don't know if that was just because they didn't market it well or just they didn't generate a whole lot of hype. In some ways, I almost feel bad just because of how kind of big Game & Watch is to Nintendo's history. But on the other hand, I kind of get it. The modern games, or like a lot of the, I wouldn't say modern necessarily, but a lot of the games, even right now on the NES, are starting to overshadow these games. They just don't feel quite as good. I don't think they're bad, usually. There's a couple that have been not good. But I think a lot of the other stuff being made around this time was just better. Alright, I gotta focus. Ah, man, I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. They picked the third one. Yeah, I know, it was kind of random. I know they also picked, like, one of the weird... Like, they didn't do the... They picked, like, Super Mario Advance 3 or something first 2, didn't they? But they just put a whole bunch of them online. Alright, there's my standard 1 life lost on the way to 200. If only I could not lose that one. That would go a long way to making it to 300. Oh, that's right. They chose Wario Land 3. Maybe that's what I'm getting confused with. Not everyone does, but I actually really like Wario Land 3. I know some people get annoyed with the whole, like, you don't die, you just fall down forever. But I don't know. I kind of like the more... Not quite Metroidvania, but, you know, like, you're exploring the levels looking for the treasures. I kind of like that. I thought that was a lot of fun. But it could be nostalgia, too. I played that one so much as a kid. That was, like, one of my only... That was, like, my first Game Boy game, and I played it so much. Man, I tried! Come on! So they did pick a later advanced one, too. Okay. This is not looking good. It's going from one end of the screen to the other. That's really hard on this. I tried again, man. It's like... I'm like... Not even... My brain's not even messing up. I'm just not fast enough. I don't know what's wrong. Yeah, then the N64 one is pretty short. I mean, they don't want to do it all at once because they want to, like, keep bringing attention to it over and over again. It's the same thing they did with the eShop. They didn't release everything at once. They released things in bunches because they're just trying to keep they're trying to stay in the news cycle is what it is. If they have everything at once, they probably imagine certain ones will get lost in the, shadows. They're more likely to get people to play it if it's one at a time. But I kind of wish it was just all there. I'd prefer that. Yeah, Star Tropics 2 isn't there. I just played that. I played that series for the first time recently. I actually really like them. They're pretty fun. They get pretty tough near the end, but they're fun. Both the final boss sequences. Final boss sequence was somehow worse than the first game, despite the second game having a boss rush into the final boss that you couldn't save between. But I managed to beat them both without save states. I was pretty happy with it. Ugh. Urasame Castle isn't on there either. Yeah, they had it on the 3DS eShop. So it's like been released in the West at this point. But does that mean in Japan none of the Famicom Disk Systems games are on there? So they have some sort of emulation for it that they've done in the past. I don't know how hard that is to put it on the Switch as opposed to the Wii U. Oh yeah, they do have Versus Excitebike on there, don't they? Huh. I hadn't thought about that. That one got a random eShop release too, way later. I'm gonna be a pro at that. Actually, I'm worried about that. I'm gonna be so rusty by the time I get to Famicom Disk System version of Versus Excitebike. I'm gonna have to learn the whole game all over again. Even though I think the levels are mostly the same. There's like new music and stuff, so I am gonna play it. Unfortunately. Not that I didn't like it, but it was really hard if you weren't there for those streams. I can't remember who was there. That one took me a long time. Second hardest game. And there was only, what, 7 levels to actually beat? Yeah, it's kind of weird at this point, because they've done all these other, like, random, who knows, like, what games they were, NES third-party ones. So I'm not sure why they've held back on some. Maybe there's more to it than we realize? I don't know. It kind of makes me nervous whenever the next Nintendo console comes out. Are they just gonna maintain the same online service with all the games, or are they gonna reset back from zero again? That'd be so annoying. Blue was clearly Game of the Year. Dude! Something about inputs. I don't know if it's the controller, if it's MAME, or what. But he was, like, not moving as fast as he always does. There's something weird. I don't know what it is. Do I have to just mash harder? Or is there actually something bad about using a controller for this? Because it does feel like he's moving kind of slower than he could be. Ah, that was bad. Oh. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me too much. That's been kind of the industry direction right now. A lot of remasters and remakes and stuff like that. It was bad. I'm out already. Man, brutal. I wouldn't be surprised if Mario RPG, the reason why it wasn't on the SNES Online was because of Square Enix. If you look in their history, they rarely do just ports. Or, like, make, like, an eShop. Like, nothing was hardly ever on the eShop. They often do... They like doing remakes so much more. Remakes and remasters. Even, like, the Dragon Quest games on the Switch are not the originals, you know? So I wouldn't be surprised if that was... If the remake, or the remaster, whatever it is, was, largely Square Enix wanting them to do it that way instead. I'm actually not convinced Melee Remaster is a good idea. Not because of it in theory, but because I think they would change the game so much that it wouldn't be Melee anymore. I don't think they'd keep the same physics engine. I think they would fix certain things that people would be upset about it. Again, not that I don't think in theory what you would envision of it would be good. I think no matter what happens, it's not going to go over well. Just with the way Nintendo is. Plus, I'm not convinced they want more than one Smash Bros. Game on a system. Again, not that, like, I know what you're envisioning, you know, exactly Melee, but with updated graphics. I just don't think that'll ever happen. Realistically, if they were to do it. A custom Robo remaster. I haven't played a custom Robo game, but I'm looking forward to them. That would be cool to see. I always like seeing forgotten franchises come back. I watched the guy who does the N64 challenge play some of the custom robos on there, though. They look pretty cool. Yeah, the question is, what are they going to do for next Smash Bros? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think they could bring every character back again. There's no way. At best, they could bring back every first-party character, but I think having that many third-party characters in the base roster is just not happening. Because at least with third-party characters as DLC, I imagine you just work out some deal where you're like, you just get a cut of the DLC money, you know? But if it's base game, and you gotta start getting everyone a cut, unless it's a one-time fee, but I don't know how that works. Like, I imagine even getting Cloud into base Smash Ultimate was a pain. When Sakurai was talking about how it was difficult for him to pull it off, I'll bet you that was part of what he was talking about, was putting Cloud in the base game. Yeah, Sora probably not coming back as a base game. That's got Square and Disney on it. No way. The fact that he's even in the game in some ways is surprising. Oh, I'm just fish everywhere. I'll take them all nearby each other, though. Okay, hang on. This run has real potential. I just got to 200 without any lives lost. getting Banjo or Steve back. if Steve comes back, some people are gonna be mad just because of what he's been doing in the competitive scene. Although I imagine, like many cases, third-party characters that make it to base game often aren't quite as powerful just because they generally want to make DLC characters good because that'll make people buy them. It's the unfortunate reality of DLC. Except for they didn't do that for Banjo for whatever reason. I'd love to see Banjo back, though. He just fits right in. Feels right at home. Alright, I'm focusing. This run is going too good for me to start. Oh, I don't know how I got that. Because I think I did the... well, I don't know if I did the order wrong. Either way, that was really close. Dang it, that came out so fast. Gino has a higher chance with the remake. Yeah, he probably does. I still don't know if they'll do it. I'm not totally convinced it'll happen. But you're right that it's probably higher than it has been for a while. No, it gets so impossible. Come on. All right, so bad for this. Dude, something is weird. Man, that's so frustrating. Why is it so... Should I switch back to keyboard? That's just, like, weird how it seemed like I was pushing buttons and nothing happened. Like, I moved so slowly. I was mashing it. All right, I'm going to try keyboard again. I don't know. It could also be the Switch Pro controller not being quite as compatible. I think their gyro does weird things. Or, like, does a bunch of inputs. So I wonder if it's, like, too much for it to handle. Sometimes. Alright, I'm trying this again. Hopefully I don't regret this. Nintendo doesn't actually own the engine for GX. Oh, interesting. And if... you doubt they'll be able to replicate it with the same physics. I've never played it before, so that'd be a fresh one for me. I didn't get that into the F-Zero games ever. I've played the original, and I played one of the ones on the Game Boy Advance, Maximum Velocity, because that was with the Ambassador program. I've never been super crazy about racing games, although that one's a little different, but than kind of your standard. I do like Mario Kart too, but maybe not quite as much as some people do. It's just hard not to have a fun time with Mario Kart. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the keyboard is better, and I need to stop switching to controller, because this feels like it's not eating my inputs as much. It just takes me longer to press buttons on my keyboard. There's no happy medium. Part of the reason why I like playing on original hardware. I don't have to worry about these problems. It's just impossible with these. Well, not totally impossible. Impossible to stream. And if I actually bought every single Game & Watch, I would be... well... I don't know, maybe I could afford it, but it would be a fortune. I've heard murmurs of a F-Zero remaster by some studio, but you hear murmurs all the time. Like that Donkey Kong open world game where he slides on vines using banana peels on his feet. You hear murmurs about a lot of things. A lot of fake stories that people make. Okay, I was wrong about this game going by quickly. It is not. You completed F-Zero on the SNES recently. You do like the game. Lower difficulties. Sorry, I'm trying to read while playing at the same time. It's kind of hard to do that for these games. For how simple they are, you kind of have to give them a lot of attention. Expert, though. Waited on save station, you still were burnt out by the end. Yeah, those games get pretty crazy. Just want subspace back. Blame whoever leaked the subspace emissary story. Because Sakurai was not... Well, I guess you could blame Sakurai for making such a big deal out of it, but he was so upset that that happened. It's I think a big reason why he hasn't gone back to having it as much. Ooh. And I don't know, maybe licensing gets harder when you start having so many third-party characters with cutscenes? I don't know, actually. I mean, I guess you gotta run everything by them so that they approve everything. They probably still have to do that even for Nintendo to some degree. Make sure Mario's not doing anything crazy, like... Ooh! Man, this is hard. Ah, man! The AI visitor is consistent about your workout schedule. Well, inconsistent means at least you go back and forth, right? Better than a non-existent one, right? Cough, cough. Yo, what is going on? I can't get over there in time. Oh, it slowed down because I got to 200 just in time. Thank goodness. Even Smash All those few cutscenes to World of Light, they got leaked. I actually don't think I saw those, but it doesn't surprise me. Because some people get in the game early. Oh yeah, everything gets leaked nowadays. It's kind of wild. It seems like there's nothing they can do about it. I'm not as interested in it, but Final Fantasy 16 was completely leaked ahead of time. People are playing Tears of the Kingdom ahead of time. It's kind of crazy. Gotta focus, hang on. Oh, man. Yeah, GTA 6 stuff leaked so early. That game's not even announced yet. And we saw stuff for that, like, what was that, a year ago? Man, it's not even order anymore. It's just so fast. Oh, this straight up might be the hardest Game & Watch I've played so far. Whoops. I shouldn't reset like this. I gotta adjust my screen every time. Probably takes just as long just to fail. What if I, like, use my thumbs? I don't know, that might not work. Or my pointing fingers, maybe? Like, 2 different hands rather than one. Reduce the amount of time it takes to push buttons. Oh, wait, no, I was still using different fingers. I don't know. Maybe my pointing finger is just stronger than my middle finger. Quicker. Just feels like there's not enough time sometimes to move between the fish in this. Yeah, certain situation feels impossible. So I don't know if it's just going to come down to luck. Again, it could be because of the emulator. I don't know how is MAME pretty accurate? Maybe it depends on the type of system you're emulating. I don't know. I don't know how accurate the Game & Watches are. But then there's also, you know, maybe it's my monitor. Maybe it's the keyboard. There's a lot of steps. Like, would this be easier if I was playing on original hardware? I don't know. Is that just me making excuses? Maybe. Yeah, I don't, this might be the only Game & Watch to take me over an hour. Maybe the Donkey Kongs, especially because I went back to them, but I don't think they did. I think this is the first Game & Watch to go over an hour to beat Game Mode's A and B. Surely they weren't expecting people to get to 1,000 points on one like this. I'm lucky that happened early on. Still at a faster moment, but that was right near the end. I would have been toast. There's a lot of fish right here in the corner. Double. Okay, this is my first 100 again. Definitely had some longer streams lately. Of course, if I was trying to do this full time, I don't know how long would I try to stream every day. Thought about doing a full 8 hours every day, but I don't know if I want to. That maybe would not give me good time for making videos. I have to balance it out. At some point, if the video is ever doing good enough, I would maybe do hire an editor for them, which would give me more time to focus on the actual streams and play the games. According to the spreadsheet, is the longest one. Yeah. Were there any others that breached an hour, or was this the first one? What I'm going to do about longer games we'll talk about in the summaries. I'm expecting the summaries to get a little longer. I probably won't go in quite... Dang it, man. I probably won't go in quite as much detail. But I think I will probably just make them longer. I'd still like to kind of go over all the main stuff that happens. But like in Wrecking Crew, I'm not going to talk about every single level. Maybe just talk about a few that stand out or new mechanics that they teach you. Just find a good balance between going over all the main stuff in the game. Dude, there's so much fish down this corner. Give it to me like this at 200, baby. Or at 300. But I am expecting games to start taking longer. But, you know, a long JRPG or something, I'm not going to go into detail about everything I do in it. That'll just take way too long. But, you know, maybe talk about all the main locations I visit and the main stuff you do. Go over the story a little bit. I don't know. I think people would be, for the sake of those videos, you'd probably just have to expect spoilers. I'd probably just kind of go over the main story beats, too. Yeah, Suji, this one has been brutally hard. Game Mode A took forever, and Game Mode B is taking, so far, just as long, if not longer. I've switched back from a controller because I was worried about delay again. Sometimes it's just, like, requires you to move so fast it seems impossible. Like that. Ah. It was Donkey Kong at 53, so yeah, this is definitely longest. Nothing even cracked an hour. Yes, I did it. You came just in time, Suji. Wait, did I just lose a fish? Jeez. And done. Alright, it's getting late. I'm just gonna be done. I'm not gonna see how far I can go. An hour and 30 minutes. Plus you guys are probably tired of seeing me try to catch these stupid fish. Alright, I'll wait till the game actually ends. Alright. That is time. 1 hour, 30 minutes, 50 seconds. The game was both better and worse, right? There were a lot of things good about it, but man, they just needed to tone down the speed or something during those edge points. Again, I don't know if that was because of emulation, but some of those moments just felt impossible.